15 things that rich people do that poor don't. Number one, this is going to be crazy because it's really big right now, but it's no spend January. Poor people have this mentality where they have to limit themselves to not spending money to certain times or certain weeks, however you want to spend it. No spend January is a huge example of this. January is some of the best deals that you can find on groceries after Christmas clearance. People cleaning out their closets, taking stuff to the thrift stores. You can get some really nice stuff. So what do rich people do that poor people don't? Rich people are always looking for opportunities to get a better deal, to save something for the future, and they don't limit themselves because of a certain time of year or certain amount of time. That's why we say we have never done and don't recommend doing no spend January, because I just moved. I can find some really nice stuff in the next couple of weeks for my house at thrift stores because I choose to spend in January. The next thing that rich people do that poor people don't is they don't watch a lot of TV or play a lot of video games. Now, if you're a gaming YouTuber, that's one thing if it's your business, but most people aren't gaming YouTubers and they come home after work at 5 o'clock, sit on the couch, eat dinner, sit on the couch and play video games or watch TV for hours on end. Rich people don't do that. Rich people work 12, 16 hours a day to accomplish their goals. They don't just come home from work and sit on the couch and do nothing. They are working on their side hustle. They are working their second job. They are working on their ideas or their inventions. They don't just waste all of those valuable hours. It's about 8 hours that are wasted every day just doing nothing. Next is learn how to do stuff. Learn how to fix your own plumbing. Learn how to make your own soap. Learn how to bake your own bread. Learn how to paint your own walls. Learn these things. The more you learn, the more you will see opportunities where you can make money. And that goes to my next one. Always be learning. Never stop learning new things. Last year, I decided to take up painting just as something fun, as a hobby. I started doing the paintings and I realized the paintings that I'm doing, like this one here, are selling between $150 and $350 for these two paintings on Etsy. I'm like, seriously, people, that's pretty darn tootin' good work. So I'm not selling my paintings, but it's another revenue stream that if I actually wanted to start selling my paintings, I could, and then I could take that money and get my house paid off quicker. So they're always learning and they never stop. The next thing they do is they save for the future, and that is why I am in my stockpile room. People say, Tara, what are you prepping for, the zombie apocalypse? No, I got all this food last year before food prices went up. So guess what? On this $1,000 or so worth of food that I have in here, I got a 20% return well, depends on which foods it is, anywhere from 20 to 40% return on my investment by getting these foods, because that's how much they went up. How many people can say they invest in the stock market and get a 40% return on their money? Stock up for the future. And I'm not just only talking about food. Right now, with rampant inflation just going crazy, my grocery prices are actually going down. This is the lowest. I've gotten some foods for the lowest prices in 20 years. Some boneless, skinless chicken breasts, 97 cents a pound. I haven't seen that for 20 years. Avocados for 25 cents. That's why I got 100 of them and stockpiled. Yes, you can go see that video here. You need to save up for the future and invest in your future. It doesn't necessarily mean in material goods, but get your house paid off. Get all of your debt paid off so that you can take that money and get it to working for you so that you're earning interest instead of paying interest. The next thing rich people do that poor people don't is they take responsibility for themselves. I can always tell the poor people, the ones who are in debt, who say, well, the government should pay off my student loans. The government should give me free rent because that thing going around came and I lost my job. Instead of, the rich people, they have a savings for a rainy day so that when that thing going around comes and you lose your job, you can make it through. Poor people depend on the government. Rich people depend on themselves and take responsibility for themselves with their finances. The next thing poor people have that rich don't is a poverty mindset. I know poverty. I grew up with $500 a month as all my mom had to raise my brother and I. And in the 1980s, that was still hardly anything to raise two teenagers. I understand poverty. I understand when my mom's car wrecked and she could only turn left because she couldn't afford to repair the car. I get it. You guys can see that whole story in this playlist right here. But I did not have a poverty mindset. I never thought that because I was in poverty, there was no way out. This is the United States of America. We are so blessed that we can take any opportunity that we want to improve our lives. It does not matter your skin color. It does not matter your age. It does not matter your education. If you actually want to be rich in the United States of America, I don't care how poor you are, you can do it. When I was single, living on my own on $300 a month disability with a chronic illness, I didn't sit there and think, what am I going to do? I'm just going to have to go to the food bank today. No, I checked the sales to see what good foods I could eat so I wasn't living on beans and rice. I had a garden and I sold my extra produce so I could pay for my groceries and my garden supplies. I sold things. I had garage sales. I traded things. There are lots of things that you can do to increase your income or bring in more money if you actually want to. So if you want to be rich, you have to get rid of that poverty mindset and start believing that you too can be rich. The next thing that poor people do that rich people don't is they pay house payments. Gasp! I know! But guys, a house payment and rent is not a necessity. Most people, if they would stop going to Starbucks, stop paying for cars that they can't afford, stop buying houses they can't afford, and actually live within their means, they could actually get their house paid off if they wanted to. And then they could take that whole entire house payment and start investing it and be earning money on that hard-earned money that they've already paid taxes and everything on. Get that money working for them instead of losing more money by paying interest on a house payment. The next thing they don't do is rich people do not pay interest on credit cards. Now, I'm sorry, I do not agree with Dave Ramsey on not using credit cards at all. We have used credit cards for the last 28 years of my marriage, and guess what? Only 2 months, and then we did it on purpose, only 2 months did we ever pay interest on those credit cards, and we use them almost every single day now. Paying interest on credit cards is a poverty mentality, and the only 2 times we paid interest on our credit cards was because we could use the money that we would have paid for that to invest in our business, which brought us a 75% return on our money, instead of the 20% we paid for just the 1 month on interest, just 1 month's worth of interest. We were able to get 75% return on our money by using that money to invest in our business. We purposely made sure that it was a good financial move for us. Stop paying interest on your credit card. It's only keeping you poor. The next thing that rich people do that poor people don't is they don't have a car loan. No, I have never in my 28 years of marriage or even before then had a car loan ever. I have paid $0 in my entire life in interest on cars. Why? Because I choose to drive $1,000 clunker and take that money and pay off my house instead that I would have put on a car loan. I'm using that to pay off my house instead. That's how you become rich. You make your money work for you instead of working all day long just to turn around and give that car interest money to someone else. Who in their right mind would do that? It doesn't even make sense. The next thing that poor people do that rich people don't is they do not go to Starbucks and out to eat and go shopping for clothes and put it on their credit cards and then turn around and pay interest on those credit cards. Stop being stupid. It is plain stupid to go to Starbucks, go out to eat, put that on a credit card, and then turn around and pay 2, 3, 4, who knows how many times more for that same product. If someone came up to you and said, that Starbucks coffee is going to cost you $35, you'd be like, what? I ain't paying $35 for an $8 coffee. But that's what you're doing every time. You put those things on a credit card and you do not pay it off every month. The next thing that rich people do that poor people don't is they study people who are better off than themselves to learn what they are doing to improve their lives and how to get ahead. Like I said before, this is America. You have all the opportunity you want to be rich if you actually want to do it. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what your age is. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your disability is. If you, with the exception of people who have really bad mental impairments, disabled that type of way, I get that. But the 99% of Americans all have the same opportunity. It doesn't matter how you were raised. I was raised super poor. You can do it if you actually want to. So study those people who have achieved it and see what steps they took to get rich, and then you start taking those steps to become rich. Poor people have a lottery mentality and rich people have an action mentality. What do I mean by that? Poor people are the ones who are buying the lottery tickets. Rich people are the ones who are saying, oh, look, here's $1. I'm going to take that $1 and I'm going to go buy a brownie mix at the store, and I'm going to start a baking business where I individually wrap these brownies for $2 each, and instead of $1, I can get $6 to $10 out of that $1 box of brownies. That is an action mentality. What action can you take today to get yourself out of the poverty pit and pull yourself into riches? The next thing the poor people think is that money is the root of all evil. No, that is a direct misquote from the Bible. Actually, it is the love of money that is the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil. I'm sorry, I know people think it is, but it's evil people that are the root of all evil. So you have to stop thinking that money is the root of all evil. There are a lot of rich people that help a lot of poor people around the world, and they do lots and lots of good. And I'm not just talking about the Bill Gates type of people. I'm talking about your everyday millionaires that help lots and lots of people. So stop thinking money is the root of all evil. Money is actually only a tool. Money has no emotions. Money cannot do anything. It is the people managing the money that do things. Another thing that I did was when I was on disability with my chronic fatigue syndrome and I just couldn't do anything at all, I got the idea to write a cookbook. I had no idea how to sell a cookbook. I had never written a book. I got horrible grades in English in high school. Why would I write a cookbook? I couldn't even cook. I couldn't even cook. And I decided to write a cookbook. And guess what? For the past 25 years, we have been learning and improving our business. And now we have this business that supports our family from just an idea that I had when I was living in poverty. And now we are rich just from a simple idea to write a cookbook. That is the action that we took to improve our lives. We have worked super hard to learn the business and improve our business over all the adversity that we've been through. And now we have a thriving business just based on that one idea to write a cookbook. Go watch this video next and visit us at livingonadime.com.